A woman and two young girls have died following a collision involving a lorry and a car on the N17 in Castlegar outside Claremorris, County Mayo. The incident happened on the main route between Galway and Sligo shortly before 2 o'clock this afternoon. Gardaí are appealing for witnesses or road users who may have camera footage to come forward.
This tragedy happened just before 2 o'clock this afternoon on the N17, the main road between Galway and Sligo, just a few kilometres from Claremorris in County Mayo. It's understood the crash involved a car and an articulated lorry. The woman driving the car and two girls who were passengers in the car were killed. No one else was injured. The road was closed down by Gardaí and diversions put in place in the Castlegar area as emergency services arrived on scene, and Garda forensic collision investigators began an examination of the area to try to establish how this fatal crash happened. This evening, as dusk fell, there was a sad and sobering sight as three hearses arrived together and drove through the Garda cordon to remove the bodies of those who lost their lives here. The remains of the woman and the two children were taken to Mayo University Hospital in Castlegar, where post-mortems will be carried out. This evening, Gardaí made an appeal for witnesses to this crash to come forward, and they also appealed to any road users who may have camera footage, including dashcam material, to make it available to them to help in their investigations.
Let's have a word with Eileen. She's still at the scene for us this evening. Eileen, what else do we know tonight about this awful tragedy and the identities of those involved?
It was 7 hours after this tragedy happened. The road is still closed here, and it probably will be closed throughout most of tonight. There's some heavy machinery and removal trucks on site to deal with the vehicles, and the Gardaí are continuing with their work at the scene to try and find out what happened here. But in relation to the identities of those who died, the Gardaí aren't saying anything. We understand they're not from the locality, but obviously the Gardaí have the awful job today of contacting family members to tell them this terrible news, and they are their first priority. And speaking of the family of those who died, Gardaí say they're also aware of images of the crash scene which are circulating on social media, and they're appealing to people out of respect for the family who's going through such an awful time not to share those images. And I suppose, you know, what they're saying is that at a time like this, a time that no one would want to be going through, to bear in mind that there are families who are really suffering, there are loved ones who are suffering, having got the most awful news of this tragedy here today in County Mayo.
Eileen in Castlegar, thank you.